Hello and welcome to this La Liga preview. My name's James Harrington and today we're talking about Matchday 28 in La Liga. If Spanish football content is your thing and you're new to the channel, why not hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Before we talk about Matchday 28, let's look at the league table after Matchday 27. Well, Matchday 27, to be honest, it was a very low scoring matchday with a lot of 0-0s and 1-0s. The top three remains unchanged, but Atletico did drop points this weekend with a draw versus Getafe, seeing the gap on second close to 4 points and the gap to third be 6 points. Villarreal got their first win in the league since matchday 18 after beating relegation strugglers Eibar 3-1. Unai Emery can breathe a sigh of relief for now. Granada continued to impress in 8th place after beating Real Sociedad. Levante climbed to 9th after beating their local rivals Valencia. Draws for Cadiz and Real Valladolid see them both climb up to the table to 14th and 16th respectively. And the bottom three remains the same: Alaves, Eibar and Huesca. Let's recap those games I previewed on Matchday 27 when it was all about the derbies. Firstly, Levante versus Valencia. Levante won their first Derby del Torre since 2016 and Paco Lopez's first as Levante manager with a 1-0 win thanks to a Roger Martí goal in the 17th minute. It was a Diacabi mistake that led to the goal, and to be honest, I feel slightly nervous when I watch Diacabi play. Maybe he just doesn't suit a back three, but he certainly didn't cover himself in glory in this match. Levante controlled the game throughout, limiting Valencia's chances, and this could be the first time in Levante's history in La Liga where they finish above Valencia. The other game that I previewed on Matchday 27 was El Gran Derby, Sevilla versus Real Betis. Lopetegui's men finally got the win they'd been searching for thanks to Youssef En-Nesyri getting his 14th league goal of the season, making the score 1-0. He scored from what seemed to be an impossible angle. It was a really competitive game and Real Betis did play well. What's great to see is both Andalusian sides fighting out at the top end of the table. It was a controlled performance from Sevilla with spells of Real Betis threatening, but it was a largely calm match from the red and white, with standout performances being from Papu Gomez and Fernando. This was Sevilla's 47th win of the 100th edition of Gran Derby in the Primera La Liga. So the games I think you should be looking out for on Matchday 28 both take place on Sunday. First up, Atletico Madrid versus Alaves. Now, Atletico Madrid do have to play Chelsea in the Champions League in the midweek and have to overturn a 1-0 deficit. I hope for Diego Simeone that his side are not drained and not too fatigued for the match against Alaves this weekend. Because it must be worrying at the moment for Atleti fans. In December they had a 12-point lead over Barcelona. However, that's now close to 4 points after Barcelona won against Huesca 4-1. And Real Madrid continue to apply the pressure, coming back from 1-0 down versus Elche to win the game 2-1 thanks to Karim Benzema brace. Atletico Madrid played out a 0-0 draw against local Madrid rivals Getafe, and not really coming alive until Getafe went down to 10 men after Neon was sent off. But thankfully for Getafe fans, David Soria put in a king of the match performance, making a number of saves and denying Atletico numerous amounts of times, most notably against Moussa Dembele. This was another game where João Felix didn't start, and I'd be interested to know your reasons why you think he's not featuring in the starting 11 and why Angel Correa is favoured to partner Luis Suarez. Because clearly João Felix has a lot of potential. Clearly he has the technical ability. Is it his attitude or is it his physicality? Let me know your thoughts. But against Getafe, Diego Simeone said his team were just lacking that clinical finishing in front of goal, but this was a small step forward. This is a side that have only won 2 of their last 5 La Liga matches against Athletic Club and Villarreal. Now, when I was doing my research for this video, I was trying to put my finger on why has there been this dip in form from Atletico Madrid, a side that in December I now foolishly said that they were going to win the league title, they're going to romp La Liga. It doesn't seem to be the case. I was reading an article by Pete Jensen and he made a very valid point about their defensive woes when they couldn't seem to keep a clean sheet. Their inability to keep the ball out the net coincided with Kieran Trippier's suspension from the side. How did I not put 2 and 2 together? Also, I was wondering, is there an element of tactical confusion? The side normally start out with a 3-5-2, changing up to a 4-4-2 at times, and then maybe reverting back to a 3-5-2. What we tend to see is Yannick Carrasco pushing further forward and Hermoso shunting to that left-back position. Is that causing Atletico Madrid problems? Look, it's very much a level playing field at the moment amongst the top three, with no sides having a game in hand over each other. There's 11 games, 33 points to play for. We really do have a title race on our hands. Let's talk about Atletico Madrid's opponent, Alaves. Especially, let's look at Abelardo Fernandez. His side are just so unlucky at the moment. Unfortunately, they couldn't get a victory against Cadiz, giving away a penalty in the 84th minute, allowing the visitors to equalise. Since Abelardo became manager on the 12th of January, the same time that Huesca appointed Pacheta, I don't think he's really had much of an impact, having only won in 10 La Liga matches 1 game, drawing 2 against Getafe and Cadiz, and losing 7. Throw into the mix a round of 32 defeat to Almeria in the Copa del Rey, a side in the Segunda Division, losing 5-0. Now, the only positive at the moment for Abelardo is that he's not had high-profile injuries, and he's seen the best out of Joselu, who's got 7 goals and an assist this campaign, and he can rely upon Pacheco in net. But if you look at Alaves against their fellow relegation strugglers, there's Huesca, who admittedly did lose 4-1 against Barcelona on Monday night. But I just feel there's a lot of fight there with Pacheta as their manager, and Rafa Mir is playing really well at the moment. Then you have Eibar, a team who I feel deflated of ideas. Mendilibar looks lost and so does his players. And then you have Elche, with their new manager Fran Escriba, recent win against Sevilla, and they put in a valiant performance even though they lost against Real Madrid. It's just not looking good for Alaves. Murmurings that Abelardo Fernandez's job is hanging by a thread. Now, do I think with my predictions his life is going to get any easier this weekend? Unfortunately not. Atletico Madrid won this game 2-1 early in the season, and this time around I think they're going to win 2-0. And I think as it's at home, they're going to keep that clean sheet. The next game to look out for this weekend, Real Sociedad versus Barcelona. Now, Real Sociedad go into this match having lost 1-0 to Granada, unfortunately due to a deflected goal, and it just seemed like such a different performance from the side that had won 1-0 the game before to Levante. Against Levante, they had 28 shots with 8 on target, whereas against Granada, they had 7 shots and only 1 on target. Mourinho after the game saying how they lacked that clinical finishing in the final third. Unfortunately, this defeat to Granada brought an end to a 7-game unbeaten streak for Real Sociedad, having won 4 games and drawn 3. But what was bad news for Imanol in this match against Granada was the injury to David Silva in the 28th minute, having to be replaced by John Guridi. If you remember the last time that David Silva was injured for any prolonged period of time, there was a real dip in form from Real Sociedad. Of course, they got good players across the pitch, Oyarzabal, Isaac, who was largely anonymous against Granada, and a player that I don't feel like I talk about enough, Mourinho. In that central midfield role, he's combative, he's strong, he's a leader, he's good at passing the ball. Other players that I feel perform well this season, Monreal, Porto and Lonomand in defence. I feel for Imanol, Champions League football is slightly out of reach. Sevilla in 4th place have a game in hand and a 6-point lead, and I don't think they're going to close that down. If they can cement that Europa League spot, that would be fantastic, because thankfully for them, Real Betis lost on the weekend. Otherwise, if they had won, they'd have gone level on points with Real Sociedad, with only Real Sociedad edging it on goal difference. Added to that, they do have that Copa del Rey rearranged match against Athletic Club in April. If they get their hands on that piece of silverware, I think by and large it would have been a successful season for the Basque side. Let's talk about Real Sociedad's opponents, Barcelona. Now, we haven't actually had a chance to get together since they've been knocked out of the Champions League. And in the first leg against PSG, they lost 4-1. The Spanish media and the global media was in uproar. It was seen as La Liga in crisis. No longer can Spain's top sides compete with Europe's elite. Now, I thought about making a video. I thought it could be seen as clickbait, really. And I didn't really believe it. I thought, let's see what happens in the second leg. And even though Barcelona did get knocked out, because they could only muster a 1-1 draw, they put in a very respectable performance, dominating the match in the first half, but unfortunately for Messi and co, PSG really shut up shop in the second. However, they weren't deterred, and in La Liga on Monday night, they won 4-1 versus Huesca, with Messi getting a brace, Griezmann and Mingueza getting the other goals. For Griezmann, that was his 150th goal in 361 appearances in La Liga. What a milestone for him. But one player we have to talk about, he was the king of the match, Messi. Before the game against Huesca, he picked up his award for February's La Liga Player of the Month, having scored 7 goals in 5 La Liga matches. And in this game against Huesca, he matched Xavi's record appearances for the club with 767. In his time at Barcelona, he's won 34 trophies, scored 661 goals since his debut in 2004. This season, he's got 27 goals. He's still so important to the Catalan club. And what seems to be the case at the moment is he has a good relationship with Koeman. It was rumoured at the start of the season that he's likely to be his last season at the Camp Nou, but I don't see that being the case. He seems to be quite content, seems to be motivated and enjoying his role mentoring the younger players like Pedri and Ricky Puig. We also should talk about the Barcelona presidential elections. Juan Laporta was elected president at Barcelona till 2026. His second stint in charge, after securing 54% of the vote. His first stint in charge came, I believe, 2003 to 2010, when the side won 12 trophies, and there was that famous Pep Guardiola treble season. His first priority, apart from sorting out the finances, will be keeping Messi at the Camp Nou, and I think that's looking likely. For Barcelona as well, they'll welcome back Ronald Araujo. That was good news for them against Huesca. Rumour has it that Ansu Fati, after knee surgery, is nearing closer to a return. A side in the autumn that look like we're going to have a diabolical campaign are only 4 points behind top place Atletico Madrid. So very much the title is in touching distance. And it's only 1 month actually, I know 1 month seems like a long time, till El Clasico, which will be a deciding match in the title race. However, I'm getting ahead of myself, and what do I think the prediction will be? I think the scoreline will be the same as it was earlier in the season. I'm going to go with 2-1 to Barcelona versus Real Sociedad. Well, that's it for this week. That was my Matchday 28 La Liga preview. Comment below your predictions. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and why not hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.